3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to this week's edition of Indian Cinemaniacs. What's going on, Maniacs?
Hey, Ralphie. Two weeks in a row.
Woo! I heard something about groin in my ear. Is that you?
I had a groin injury, but it's okay. I caused it myself.
Oh. You want to explain that or just let that fall?
No, let's just leave that. Let it just sit there for a little bit.
Okay. All right. So this is week 2 of the Cinemaniacs viewer wheel.
Wheel of Democratic Fate or something. Don't you have a name for it?
And the first good week of it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. This will be fun. So we're gonna talk about the film that we spun last week, and it's called what, John?
It's called Agneepath.
Now, do you have the blurb from?
I have it, as a matter of fact.
Let's say who brought it, and then give us the blurb.
Okay. This was brought by Satyam Pandey, FK2CF, and I found out that the FK2CF means nothing. It's auto-generated. So he wanted me to make sure, because I thought it was a swear or something. He goes, no, it's auto-generated. So this is what he wrote for Agneepath. It is considered as a modern-day masterpiece among Indians. Beautiful songs. One would definitely make place in your JYM list. I'm not sure what that meant, but your watch list, I guess. And the best part of the movie is performance of actor. John, you love the nice-hearted, charming character of Sanjay Dutt from Munabai MBBS, which I have recommended. But you will see Sanjay here again, how evil he can look. And he was evil in this movie.
Man, he made this movie, though.
Well, he was known for playing evil characters till Munabai. So,
all right, so we'll do this film. Then are we going to do a viewer question?
Yeah, I sent it to you. I sent it to you a couple of days ago. Yep.
And then we'll spin the wheel for the next viewer.
Yes.
Pick. Okay. So let's get into this film. So, John, who wants to describe? John, you want to do this? Or?
I mean, I will. It's just a movie about a young lad whose father is hung by the worst villain in human history, and he goes on a path of revenge. That's basically the plot of this movie. This 3-hour movie.
2 hours and 53 minutes, practically.
Yeah, well, it
felt Chris a little longer. Chris Pan left a little. Chris Pan left. The other way. Right. Keep going. Stop. Thank you. Okay. Just get
Chris stars Hrithik Roshan, who we've seen in the world famous Doom 2, and I also saw him in Bang Bang, a few other things. Sanjay Dutt, who was fantastic in this. Also, Rishi Kapoor.
Oh, that was the guy from Doom 2. That was
Hrithik. He was
serious cop.
He was the lead. Not Doom 3, Doom 2. He was the bad guy in Doom 2. Rishi Kapoor, who played Lala. He actually got better notices than Sanjay Dutt in this, and he was good. And this is the first time he ever played a bad guy, I found out. The woman who did the one musical number, Katrina Kaif, she was also in Doom 3. Big fan of her, not her acting, but her dancing.
Oh, she's the one that dances at the stage in that.
Yeah,
Doom
she
3?
is beautiful, and she's a great dancer too. She also starred with Hrithik Roshan in Bang Bang.
She breaks people in half with her wings.
There was another film we watched where the gangsters all had somebody dance. Was that the same lady too, or was that maybe?
No,
there was some other film we watched.
That wasn't her, but she did that was basically a cameo that she did. And Priyanka Chopra, by the way, Priyanka Chopra Jonas is also in this movie. And I'll just give you my take on this movie. I'm a big fan of Hrithik Roshan. I don't know if anyone notices, you guys, but you notice one of his thumbs? He's got a double thumb. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he does. That. And he's not like Harold Lloyd where he hides it. It's evident, and you wonder how some of the stunts he does that he's able to do them. So I have a couple feelings about this movie. I did think it was too long because there were parts in this movie that I was out of it. I don't think it needs to, and I know we always talk about the length of these films, but this definitely was too long. I also felt, and I liked it. I did like this movie because I like the action scenes. I like the The characters in it. Sanjay Dutt was that's the first time he's ever been bald in a movie. He looked a little like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family, but he was like, I mean, he was evil. And Hrithik Roshan, I'm a big fan of. I just felt like some of the scenes were almost soap opera dramatic, like real, like over the top dramatic, and it wasn't that way throughout the film, but there were certain scenes that were like that were just over dramatized that I thought was just too over the top. And I also felt, and again, my biggest critique of the film at the end of the film, and again, there's spoilers. This I don't know when this came out, 2012.
12.
He got stabbed so many times and was still able to do superhuman stuff. I found that a little unbelievable. But I will say his death scene, where he sees his father and himself as a young boy, I really did think that was pretty effective, and he did
Very
play that
poignant.
well. It was very poignant. Now, and the scene where at the wedding everyone gets wiped out, I thought that was a powerful scene. But yeah, overall, I did like this movie. I just felt it dragged a little bit in certain sections. They could have cut a big chunk of it out, but it had a Shakespearean tone with trying to get the boss out of the picture, the turning against the brother, everyone turning against each other. So overall, I enjoyed it, and I have not every movie I've seen with Hrithik Roshan I've enjoyed. I find him to be a very interesting. I don't think he's like. I don't consider him a great Indian actor compared to like some of the other guys we see, but I do really enjoy his performances, and this one I enjoyed the film. So
is he the lead, the young guy?
He's the lead, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
VJ.
Yeah,
VJ,
VJ, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody else, how you guys feel?
Well, if I could jump in,
You just did. Go ahead.
I felt bad that I really didn't like last week, the previous film,
Why did you feel? Why? Wait. Why did you feel bad?
because I wanted to like it and I didn't.
Okay.
And we want to be liked.
Yeah,
Is that so wrong?
we all want to be liked. And as Debbie would say, so many people work on the film. You don't want to disparage.
I know,
all their
but
work.
again, this is a film critique.
A lot of
as
people
well
work
as
on
review.
Pauly Shore films.
Yeah. I mean, we should be able to critique. That's why I was asking.
Sorry,
I just
Chris.
want to make sure.
Shouldn't have said that.
You were not.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
For some reason, I came close and lost my focus. Someone else talk. My focus.
You've
will
lost
return.
your focus. You're
just
out of focus.
put your hand up near your face.
Is that a Barbara Streisand filter? Is that what you're doing?
It'll catch. All right, Chris, what did you think?
I like a good revenge movie. So I did like this movie, I'm with John. Definitely could have used about 20 minutes of trimming. And a lot of that is just if you just cut down on you don't even have to cut any frames. You just don't do everything in slow motion. I feel like there was long chunks of this film that were in slow motion. I agree with you, John. He gets to the end, he gets stabbed a lot. But I always have this thing about when a character takes an unreal amount of damage, right? Gets shot a bunch of times, gets lit on fire, whatever, but accomplishes their mission, but then dies. For some reason, I can buy that. It's like they used the last.
You'll give him a
part.
pass.
Yeah, I'll give them a pass because they ended up dead, right? No, but I mean it. It's like one of my favorite movies, The Killer, with John Woo, right? John Woo's The Killer. That guy gets shot like 7 times. At least 6 of them were fatal, but yet somehow or another he hangs on to the very end. And you kind of believe that he could do this because in the end they do die. You feel like they're using up their last bit of life energy. Instead of trying to stay alive, they're accomplishing their goal.
They're using that to kill
the bad guy. Yeah, and this guy was bad. Like just through and through, really evil. Really liked him. Over the top performance, but at the same time, like in a fun way.
Yeah.
Obviously, I thought that the dance numbers, and I'm not a huge fan of the musical stuff a lot of times, but these were all fantastic. Especially the whole, the one where, and I don't want to butcher her name, but
Priya Chopra.
Priya Chopra, right?
Yeah.
She, and by the way, Joe Jonas or whatever Jonas brother she married, if you look up in the dictionary level jumping, it's a picture of that guy. I get it. He's probably very rich, but he's a Jonas brother. Come on, man. How did he pull that off? I mean, maybe he's really funny. He's got hidden depths. I don't know. But I feel like she
didn't work. No, I'm sorry.
Anyway, that being said, I like a good revenge movie. I kind of I did like how it's like he was like, okay, I've got to become a criminal to amass the power to stop this guy. I thought it was interesting how it was on kind of a different island. I was a little surprised that we never really saw a whole lot of the island until the very end.
Yeah.
Right? I expected them to kind of go back and see what terrible things that had happened to the people on the island, And it's so obvious that, the professor is like, hey, he's gonna buy 100-year lease on your land and he's gonna just shred it. Why don't we do this thing? We'll all do better, but we'll still have our land, we'll still have our livelihoods, and we won't live on a dead piece of ground, which is what eventually happened. But I did really enjoy it. I thought that, and of course, in watching this movie, it just makes you want to go to one of those, what do they call them, like color festivals, where there's like, oh my gosh, they look, and don't get me wrong, I get it, it's a movie, and it's choreographed and everything, and it's got, gorgeous women and just beautiful outfits and everything in it. But those look like fun. Even the heightened movie version of that looks like an amazing thing to enjoy and to participate in. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a very straightforward kind of movie. It wasn't like you're really trying to like dig into their different motivations. Yeah, it's all very straightforward. Like I said, if they had just cut out some of the slow-mo, it would have shrunk their runtime a bit, which would have been fine with me. I did have one question, though, for our viewers. And maybe it's just me. Maybe you guys can help me out, too. I noticed this guy had a bunch of tattoos. And I can't think of any other Indian movie where I saw where a guy had a lot of tattoos. Now, are tattoos in Indian culture just kind of, verboten? Are they only criminals get tattoos? Because here in the United States, everybody and their brother seems to have a tattoo,
And their sister.
And their sister, too. Exactly.
And their mom.
Exactly, yeah. But it makes me wonder. I just wonder whether, so if you guys can enlighten me on that in the comments, I'd like to know. Because I noticed, he's got the tattoos, and it just was it was one of those things where I was like, now they obviously could have put those on. That might not be his real tats. But it just made me wonder, are tattoos just not a thing in India? Is it not a cultural thing? Or if it is, it's like in Japan, I know that tattoos are almost exclusively criminals. Only criminals have tattoos and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's similar in India or not, but let me know. But all in all, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it had some good, fight scenes, some good action scenes. It just could have been a bit shorter.
Just two things before we go to the next ones. I forgot to mention the songs. This was the first film. I think I liked every song in it. The production numbers of every song was really, really well done. And to your point, it was really, really colorful for a pretty dark movie. The second thing I should mention, because we hesitated on this about which version we were supposed to watch. This is a remake from 1990 with Amitabh Bachchan as the lead character. So just an FYI, we watched the right one because he mentioned Sanjay Dutt in this one. So just want to clear that up.
Oh, and the one other thing I did want to mention, it was nice to see the guy who plays Gatande, the chief of police. I recognized him instantly from, I think it was called City of Hope with Patrick Swayze. So he was in that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a movie where Swayze plays like a surgeon or a plastic surgeon or something who ends up in, I think it's based set in Calcutta, and he's like the main other. They're the two leads. Those two guys are the two leads. So I was like, oh, that's the guy from City of Hope.
Well, I want to jump in and say
now you're in focus. Let's go.
Yeah, now I'm in focus. I want to say I'm probably having a reverse experience than every Indian viewer, in the sense that I first saw Sanjay Dutt in a comedy, that Muna by MBBS, which I thought he was fantastic in, and that was his first non-heavy role. But man, he stole this film every scene he was in. Yeah. Not only was he intimidating and ominous with that hair, but also the role was really weird. And I think someone else had used the word Shakespearean earlier. But I mean, not only was a bad guy, it was you, John. Thank you. Well, you're the stage actor. You've probably been in Shakespeare plays.
Well, can't we compare everything to Shakespeare? I mean, is
no.
No,
this was definitely Shakespearean.
Okay. Doom 3, not Shakespeare.
I don't know.
That was more like Transformers or maybe Paw Patrol. But
The Prestige.
The Prestige, and so, but
Oh wait, you're talking about the bald guy, the bad guy. That's who you're talking about?
Yeah, I love his philosophical things, like when they're hanging the guys, like no one is ever born and no one ever die. I mean, he's like always offering these like philosophical nuggets, just like a Shakespearean character. But also, who is really good is Rishi Kapoor,
Yeah.
who plays Lula,
Yeah.
Lala, the
Lala,
other
yeah.
villain. That guy is mesmerizing too, and and to me, you were talking about the numbers. To me, one of the best numbers is the wedding of the son, and they do the song about the dad, like he's the emperor, and he's a god, and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because that much hubris has to come before a fall. And I mean, but I thought that was a great number. And of course, he's just sucking it up. That I thought that was a great number too. But he was a really despicable character. I mean, he's selling girls into sex slavery and all. And then you think about our hero who essentially joins up with them. And you got to think, yeah, this guy has a good purpose. He's gaining power in order to kill the bad guy and free this island, though I don't see why he could be so friendly towards the inhabitants of the island, since they were so easily manipulated into killing his father. But if you think that this is probably not sex slavery, seems to be more of a happy sideline for Lulu. It seems like you can only imagine what kind of evil stuff this guy was up to, and that our hero, and they kept trying to make him a better guy by saying that he didn't use any of the money, that he gave all the money he gave away to his to the people around where he lived, and which of course built him an army too of people who are loyal to him. So on one hand, he was genuinely being altruistic, because at heart he was a nice guy. He was obsessed with revenge. But he wasn't inherently evil. But also too, just by giving this money away, also enhanced his power situation. Now, my flaws of the film were, and the last film we watched was Sita Rama. It was too much of a soap opera for me, and I just wasn't buying it. Now, this film, on the other hand, was big. It was larger than life, which is consistent with a lot of Indian films, the bigger movies. And, Bahubali, RRR, they're all bigger than life, and people take immense amount of physical damage and continue. But to me, what really comes in late in the film, which is kind of unnecessary, is sort of the relationship with his sister, who didn't know who he was until like halfway through the movie. And then we have all like meet cute, and he goes out with his sister, and it's obviously there so that we'll know that he's really a sweet guy. He's a lovable guy. He loves people before he goes on to kill 1 million people at the end. And also, the relationship with the mother, like when the mother won't show him any approval or any affection, and that's just a setup for their last scene where, she says how proud she is of him. But I mean, the whole thing with the sister character, we would call that in an American movie petting the dog, adding a character or circumstance just to show that the bad guy isn't all bad. It's unnecessary, but considering how much I enjoyed the actors in this piece, and I enjoyed the musical numbers, and I thought the violence was well staged, and those festivals where they're throwing colors, the red paint and dye on people. It was, it was a beautiful movie to watch. So I'm going to forgive it. Any of its faults, and it's an Indian movie, and as we said in that one episode where we talked to Nisha, and that when an Indian person goes to the movies, they want to see every emotion. This is a big deal. they want a movie to be long so that they get their money's worth, and they want to be happy, they want to be sad, they want to be thrilled, they want everything. And I think this is a film that supplied everything. When I put together my list of like my favorite films, I'm not sure where it's going to fall because it's not as good as like RRR and Bahubali, but it's, I look at a film like KGF, which is similarly themed, and this film I think is much better than that one. That one had a little more comedy in it, but I really enjoyed this movie, and I really got to credit a lot of this to Sanjay Dutt. I just thought he was, not only did he do an amazing performance, it was a really well-written character that he played as well.
Again, we're talking about the bad guy, right? The big
Yes.
The
bald.
bald bad guy.
Okay.
Uncle Fester.
Okay. You notice his voice was manipulated in the movie too, right?
No.
His voice had echo and deeper than.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he was sped up.
No. I would never.
It's not dancing, Sean.
I would never say that. All right, Drew, where are you at on this one?
Well, first of all, I think he can get stabbed that many times and survive because of his abs, because his abs are like amazing. So let's
Still, you're
give
hitting
them some credit.
There's some organ in there under the abs, isn't there?
No, it's like
It
bouncing
depends
off. It's bouncing off the muscle.
If you flex, right, you can get into the muscle, but not
because
through it.
he
It's just
that guy held
Ralph,
that
it's
knife.
just science, okay?
So there was no twisting going on. He wasn't twisting or anything.
No.
Okay.
This was a really big movie, which is why tonight I'm appearing in widescreen. Also, I'm a big fan of Sanjay Dutt as well. I have not seen Mumbai MBBS yet, but we did watch a movie together that I didn't care for, except for like a couple of performances, and he was one of them, and that's PK.
Yeah.
He is the leader of the entertainment troupe that PK falls in with, and I like, as soon as he showed up, the movie got a lot more appealing to me. Like it was just more and bigger.
Oh yeah, I forgot we had seen him in that too.
Yeah, and he does that in this movie too, in a different way. But I mean, he really just he literally fills it up and everything. Now, I don't think it's too long, and the reason I don't think it's too long is because I also watched the original one this week, because that's like a legendary culty movie. It's Amitabh Bachchan starring movie. He makes an acting choice that apparently people like to make fun of and also love, which is that he talks like this the whole movie, and it's he really commits to it. It's really kind of crazy.
That's like Nicolas Cage and Peggy Sue got married with that Gumby voice.
Yeah, but like even more, because that movie came out in 1990. And it plays like a 70s trash exploitation movie, and that's not a criticism. I feel like it's a movie that Quentin Tarantino would have watched and would have fueled things. And if you picture a Bollywood movie that's not from an earlier era, and you picture like clips of violence or dancing or whatever, I feel like they could all be from this movie. And the reason I watched both is because I was curious about it, but also it's a very interesting way they do the adaptation, because it hits the same beats, but it's very different, which I thought was an interesting way to do it. If you've never seen the original, you don't know what's different. But if you go back and you watch the first one, I watched the 1991 first, you will see those broad strokes. It's basically one of the biggest differences is that the character that Hrithik Roshan plays, same name, same character, Vijay, he's a lot more redeemable. I think in the movie, Amitabh Bachchan's version, he's a criminal, and that movie is a lot more like Scarface, although he's not completely irredeemable like Scarface, but he is a gangster who loves being a gangster and doing gangster stuff. And there's a couple of characters that there are different versions of in the movie, and one I think really exceptionally entertaining character who's not in the movie. But I respect that. I respect the way that they told the story in a different way. And I'm like you guys, I like a good revenge movie. I have not really been into Hrithik Roshan so far. I don't think he's bad. He just never really did anything for me, but I dug him in this. I mean, most of his acting is really like looking angry, but I believed it. And, I believed his agony, with the overhead shot screaming into the sky when his wife died in his arms. Priyanka Chopra she's just gorgeous, and she's really good in this, I think. But I don't know. I thought it was a lot of fun for a violent movie. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a masala movie with, you know, one of these, like, everything is in there. And both of the movies, I like their music. And I don't know. I enjoyed watching them both in 2 days.
And this movie did well. This movie did well, but the 1990 version did not do well at all.
Yeah, the 1990 version came out and later became a cult classic type of thing that everybody knows about. And it was, you know, I think it's kind of on the way of making Amitabh Bachchan a much bigger star, but it's not the one that made him a big star. But it's fun. It really could have come out in 1978 with the aesthetic of it, and just the clothes are ridiculous, and there's so many white suits so you can see the blood more and stuff like that. But it was fun, and you know, we've watched a lot of really good movies. Not all of them are this dark, but also this fun. So that was kind of a nice treat. So thank you. Who was it that recommended this?
This was
Satyam
Satyam Pandey, FC2 TF something. I don't know. It's auto-generated.
Thank you, auto-generated FC52F. I appreciate it. But yeah, no, it was fun.
What
They were
the
both
F?
fun. I think you guys should check out the original. It's a good time.
Okay. Well,
I was tempted to catch the original, too,
Well-
but just didn't have the time.
I hate to be the Debbie Downer in this particular
That's your
group.
favorite thing. It's okay.
I didn't like the movie. I get the beauty of the film. Like if you took this film and clipped it out, and I saw the dance scenes, and I saw the scene that Chris was talking about, the wedding scene with all the colors, or if you clipped it and made a best of this thing, I think I would really like it. I just couldn't. I knew it was going to. You know, he's going to get revenge. You know, he's going to kill that guy eventually. That's going to happen. It's all the stuff in between that I just couldn't wrap my head around. Like the whole village turns on the professor. Now, did that little girl literally blame him when she was dying?
Yes, they
She
hired
pointed-
her to rat him out as a way to get him killed.
So
That
they
was part of it.
killed her
I
to
don't
make
think
that happen.
that's- Yeah, I don't think that's what happened. I think they raped her, and then she was pointing that the professor was there to help her, and then she died.
That's not
So
what
they
I
read
got.
it as-
I got
as
that
he
she was a
approved it.
plant, and she
A
pointed
plant
to,
that they
right
killed?
at him. No, that
No.
that the bad guy and his father set up because she accused him. That's when they all grabbed him. That's how I read it. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm totally misinterpreting, but she pointed directly at him when they.
I mean,
said,
it was
"Who did
a
this?"
Yeah, but
setup,
it
but
didn't
the setup
necessarily-
was to victimize her to get
Right.
his
That's what
attention.
I thought. I didn't think
Not
she
that,
was.
not that the victim was in on it.
No, I didn't think she was
in the
part of it.
original movie, they basically, he's teaching a courtesan how to read, and they fall asleep, and it becomes like they catch him, and he's cheating on his wife, and he's a sinner, and so he needs to be destroyed. But it's all a setup. It's all, this guy's like a good guy
they're
and
tough.
a pure guy, and he has done something that's a terrible sexual transgression. So let's get enraged and destroy.
And he was all in
which is-
white.
Right, which is why I think, you know, it may or may not be harder for us to look at the extremity of the villagers' behavior and how angry they got and how certain they were that he needed to die. Because I would be like, well, you shouldn't do that with your wife. You shouldn't, you know, pretend to be doing, you know, only good things and then do something like that. But I didn't think he needed to die. But these people were convinced that he had betrayed them morally.
You're
because
talking
he
about
was
the
paragon.
original or this one?
Both of them.
Yeah, I know, but this
Both of
one
them,
was
like-
so quick. I mean, they love this guy, and then all of a sudden they're ready to hang on a tree. So that's one thing that I just the shots, and this is what I want to get to, is technically there's a scene where the father's talking to the son very early on, and there's a tree in the foreground. And the color, like the sunset, and it was just gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, this is going to be one of these. It's going to be a gorgeous film. I just didn't buy and I was getting confused by the Lala guy. Is he a good guy? I know he's a bad guy because he's selling young girls.
Yeah, that's
and
bad.
I know he's trying to get in with him. And John, you talk about the wedding scene where they shoot everybody. It's just like, it was goofy to me, goofy. And to end it with him getting stabbed as many times as and how many people did this guy kill in front of everybody? I mean, he starts by shooting someone right in the face in the village. He stabs the kid that he hit with the rock, who had the scar, which was the guy that ended up following him the whole.
Right.
He
The one
stabs
from
him
Gangs of Wasseypur. Yeah.
Right. He stabs him in front of everybody at that
During the festival.
Right. And everybody just walks over that guy like nothing happened. I didn't.
Because he was going to
It's a wild
assassinate the police
festival.
commissioner.
But I know that. But then I did the last third or the last bit where the revenge happens and he drags that guy and he kills him. It redeemed itself for me when I saw the scene where he's dying and he sees his father. I mean, I didn't like the film. Let me just say it. I'm just going to say it. I didn't like it. But I thought that scene was well played because I thought they were going to fake us out that he really wasn't going to die because the way
I would have been very unhappy.
Right.
With that.
But the way they did it, they kind of like the father looks back and then the little kid walks in. So I go, oh, this is just a memory he's having. But actually he passes away, which I thought was at least honest. At least that happened because he should have with everything that went on in his body. He should be dead. But you're right. It was a soap opera. There were scenes where he's hugging his mother or his girlfriend and looking straight at the camera for 5, 10, 15 seconds. His eyes are all bloody and watery. And the mother's constantly telling him not to, don't kill him. Don't kill the guy. Don't kill the guy. Don't kill him. And at the end, I didn't buy it. Now, I knew I wanted that guy to die. There's no question. The big, bald Fester guy. But you guys are giving him a lot of credit for just like, that's just an over-the-top scene. Again, I get back to if this were an American film, and I guess I supported Marlon Brando in
Apocalypse Now?
No. The one about the animals on the
Dr.
island.
Moreau? The island of Dr.
You know, I love that performance, so I guess I should just shut up because obviously that's on that level.
Film.
It's on that level. And but the dance numbers, like that one with the woman you said that the dancing for the gangsters, all that, and the guys behind her doing all that stuff they're doing, it was awesome. That's what I mean. I think I would like a clipped out versions of scenes from this movie than having to sit and watch the whole movie, all the stuff in between the good stuff that happened. I mean, that's just me. I can't deal with unrealistic. It's just I can't separate. Now, RRR, that movie's all unrealistic. I get it. I don't know why that one resonated with me and this one doesn't, but
Because it's awesome.
it is awesome. So that's how I would like to go back and see the original if you're saying it's got a 70s vibe, though.
I think it's worth watching if you like 70s exploitation type of violent movies. I think watching it in the reverse order, which is what you'd be doing, that will be interesting. Also, there is one character who is like a breakout character. His name is Krishnan Iyer, who basically becomes like the right hand man of VJ. Not in this movie, not in the remake, not turned into two other characters or anything. He's just not in there at all. I missed that. Yeah, I missed seeing him. I thought that was great. But again, another choice. Like that was a character you'd probably be going like, who's going to play him and how's that going to work and all that kind of stuff. And they just went another way, which I mean, I respect that. Yeah. But I think if you liked this movie, then you should watch the original. If you didn't like this movie, but the original sounds like the vibe is what you're looking for, which for you, Ralph, I think it would be, then it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I want to check that one out because this one,
watch Sholay, Ralph, with him. 1978. You don't need it. It doesn't.
Really?
It is a 70s movie.
Well, the criticism I take for Bali with the arrows just keep coming out of the quiver, right? Like that unrealistic thing just drives me insane. And to watch this guy get stabbed,
but two motorcycles forming together is okay. That's what
I didn't say that. I didn't like
commented on that.
Okay, but this guy.
Well, that's how baby motorcycles are made.
No, for me, it was the one when he stabbed him in the back with the long knife, right? The first one.
It went through him.
Well, it didn't because when they pulled back, there was no puncture mark in his stomach because of his abs, obviously.
He did heal like Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what happened.
So that's the one that got me. I was like, that one would be the death blow.
No, the one where he gets him up front. He's face to face and he shoves the knife in him and does that thing where, they're cutting all the way up. I mean, anyway.
But he held the rocks. He held the rocks.
But for me, it slightly redeemed itself that they let the guy died, and I did think it was a nice callback to go back to the father and the young kid. Yeah. I thought that was,
and it looked like it was the witch's castle.
And the movie was beautiful. The movie was beautiful. There's no question. All the money was on the screen on this one for sure. So I just want to say that.
You haven't said that in a while.
I know. That felt good. That felt good too. So, all right. So, do you want to?
Well, they saved all that money on Sanjay Dutt's hairstyle and the shampoo and everything.
Has he got a big head of hair normally?
Yeah, that was his first film he's ever done. Bald. It was a big deal.
That earring that goes on the top of the ear too. I've never seen anything like that. So
that kind of freaked me out because I'd be afraid if I had that people would just walk over and grab it.
That's why I guess if you're a big dangerous looking guy, they don't
do that.
And he gets great radio reception.
That's right.
It really
It
does.
just doesn't seem like there's a whole hell of a lot to do on Mondaval other than torture people
On
and
Love
watch one
Island?
pretty
I mean,
lady
they were
dance.
growing cocaine on that island, right?
That's what they said. I'm not sure how.
Well,
they,
you
or
never
they were
actually
getting
saw-
cocaine from Afghanistan or something. I
Like
don't know.
Hrithik Roshan never did any criminal stuff the whole movie. This big
Well, he
criminal
killed the
guy.
police
Well,
officer.
he did murder, but you're right. He
Yeah,
didn't run a criminal
That's
enterprise.
right. You
which
never
is also
saw like the
different
day-to-day
from the
operation.
original.
And he killed a guy that, he killed a bad guy, a bad cop.
Right.
So
I mean, I thought that scene was actually pretty powerful because
Yeah.
you're kind of like, wait, is he really going to shoot a cop at age 12?
right,
But then you already know what he's been through and what he thinks is worth protecting and what he won't
it's
tolerate.
all about power.
And I was like, okay, I believe
Yeah.
it. I believe it. It was good.
Okay, let's rate this puppy.
What do you rate it, Ralph?
I'm going to say 2 Ledoux for me.
2.
2.
Surprised you went that high.
2. What? It's 2 out of 5, right? 2 out of
Yeah.
5. I'm going to say 4 on the technical, the movie, and specifically the dance number with the gangsters was amazing.
You can't do that. You can't.
I'm
split
doing
up
it.
your
I don't care.
Ledoux.
And Chris's scene with that red stuff that was coming down was just super
dust.
cool. Super.
What
cool.
is that? I want to know what that is. What is that dust they throw? The colored dust. It's
red
in all
brick
these Indian
dust.
movies, but what is it? Literally,
I
let us
don't
know in
know.
the comment
In the
section.
Beatles movie Help, they were trying to
Yeah, that's
cover
right.
Ringo with red
That's
paint
right.
before they
Yeah.
sacrifice him.
Go to the window. Go to
Go
the
to
window.
the window. We'll
I
have to
give
bring
it.
that
I
one.
give it 3 Ledoux, but I give the songs 4.5 Ledoux, and I give the technical aspects of the film a 4.5
Ledoux.
You happy?
Ledoux.
You happy with that? You feel good?
Yeah, I am happy.
That's good.
You're making all kinds of new rules, Ralph.
All right, 2 Ledoux. Boom. That's it. I don't recommend.
How
it.
about you, John?
I give it 3.
I'm going to go 3 as well. I enjoyed it, but standard revenge movie.
I'm going to
I'm
go
down with-
4 because I just enjoyed it. It kept my interest throughout, and I enjoyed the performances. So, I'm going to give it 4.
Wow.
And I don't care what anyone says.
Oh wow, you're so bold.
Yeah, wow.
You're
I'm
so
gonna
I'm
give it
wearing my
3.
turban.
I'm going to give it 3. I enjoyed watching it. I would give the original one 3 too. I just thought that they were good at being what they are, and that's not a bad thing for a movie to be.
Good
Cool.
good call. Okay.
I
And
can't
thank you,
believe I liked
Satyam
it best.
Pandey, for recommending it.
I think, John,
Yes,
I
thank
think we said we should read the blurb the day it spins, but I kind of enjoyed the fact that I heard that blurb after I had seen the film. It kind of gave me an interesting context of what they were
Okay, so
going
you want to
for.
continue that? Because
I
I've got
think
all
so.
of them.
I
All
think
right.
so. I
Okay.
think that was fun to hear what he
Okay.
thought as I had seen it. So
Ralph,
I don't
as
want
long
any,
as-
I don't want anything in my head to
As long as it keeps your interest in doing the show, we will do whatever you want.
kept me
Because
very
we know
happy.
the rule. Once you get bored,
We're out.
we're out.
Right. Because I'm the only one that can do this. Is that true?
Well,
That's
Not
a lot of
anymore,
pressure.
no.
It's a lot of
it
pressure.
is. It is.
All right. Do you want to do a question or do you want to go to the wheel?
No, well, let's do the wheel, then do the question.
Okay.
How about that?
Sounds good. So let's go to the wheel.
All
Here we
right.
go. So what do we
Let's
have? How many do we have? 1, 2, 3.
We should
4,
have
5,
9.
6. Yeah, 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Any predictions? Here we go. Spinner.
I think it's going to be Piku.
I think it's going to be Mughal-e-Azam.
Piku.
Nice, John.
Nice.
John, what the heck?
That is crazy. John, you need to go to Vegas.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, so who do you know who the viewer?
Yes, it's Nishash Nishashankar 9459 /00 Katan.
Okay, that must be an arbitrary number like the
But
other
we're
one,
going
I
to
guess.
say Nishash for short.
Piku, Piku.
PIKU, and it's available on Apple TV. I think you got to pay for it, but it is available.
How much?
I might
What
have
about
one. I
this-
might have got a digital copy of it.
If you have a digital copy, please send
I
it
will
around.
if I will try because it's
And if anyone out there, Wolverine,
yeah. Well,
has this movie.
that's the thing. You got to get it with the subs. That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
hard part of that. But yeah, good.
This has
Excited.
been recommended
Legally,
quite a
of
while
course.
for us.
No, I don't mean anything
Yes,
illegal. It's all
please.
done on the up and up.
Yeah, if anyone was going to send this to us, please do it legally. but
Yeah, and Drew and
do
I
it
have a PO
quickly.
box. You can send it to us
Yes, you can.
once we get rid of the cobwebs.
I
right,
do
so
want to, may I say something now? That Tuesday is my the day of my operation.
Oh,
So if it happens, I probably will not be allowed. If I'm alive and if I'm home, I still won't be able to talk. And
Debbie
Auntie
be on?
is debating whether she'll be jumping in to replace me, but I think she'll be, looking after me that day.
well, Sean,
So
just
she
because you
probably-
can't speak doesn't mean you can't be on camera.
That's right.
So you
in
could do-
focus.
You know what I mean? A little pantomime,
They have me scheduled to spend the night in the hospital.
Yeah, I tell you what. Why don't you
Chances
take a
are-
break from the show and hope everything goes well? And
No,
come
bring
back
your
to-
phone with you to the hotel room. Hotel room.
No.
Hospital room. Do it right from the hospital bed. Come on, that'd be awesome.
Hey, I've
During
done it from a
surgery.
men's room on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Just watch out for your kidneys.
Well, for all our viewers out there, please throw out some good vibes Sean's way for that surgery.
I will
and
appreciate
He's
it.
going to come back sounding like a baritone when he's done. And
Yeah, I'll
then
have to
go to
re-record
his
all the
channel
songs.
because he's going to have only positive songs. Okay? Don't go
With
now.
a very, very deep voice.
You don't want to listen
Or-
now.
It could go the other way. Hello, I'm Sean Murphy. Today we're
Yeah,
I
I'm
going
gonna
to
hate
do
my
my
mother. I hate
falsetto.
my father. I hate you too.
die, 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 die.
All right, so listen, we threw out. I did it on a 10-ish minute show. I asked for viewer questions for the YKY show, Indian Cinemaniac show, and some of you responded. So we have one question, Ralph. I sent it to you. Tell me who asked it. I think I sent you that too.
you don't have it? I have to go.
No, I sent it to you.
All right, but what? Are you kidding me?
Ralph, I sent it to you a week ago. I do not want to hear this. Okay?
Wait, did you email it to me?
Yes, I emailed it to you.
All right,
I don't
all right.
believe you.
I don't. Why
Go
would you?
to
Why?
search and
So
type
what do
in
you?
Ralph.
What do you email and throw away the
No,
piece
I
of
mean
paper that
John.
you had?
No, I have it
Okay,
online,
here it is.
but
I have it. I have it.
I sent it to you so you can give the question.
Okay, here's the question from Oketan. Ooketan.
Oh, that's the same guy.
I don't know if it's double O or the O.
Oh, you know what it was? Those two of them recommended the film. That's why I had that.
Okay, so here's the question. So when you watch a
You
movie,
know Chris, right?
what was that?
Chris is yawning,
Oh,
so apparently he's a
That's
little bored right now.
interesting. Okay,
So
well,
go ahead.
So you
it's
want-
weird that it's the
you know what?
viewers
Then
viewer
Chris-
question
Yeah,
section.
Yeah, don't answer this question, Chris or Drew, for bringing that up.
Gonna put you right in your
Okay, here's the
place.
question. So when you watch a movie and essentially review it, do you do it based on what the movie is or what you want it to be?
Oh, I think
Chris,
I do
you
it
can't
on-
answer. No, Chris,
Ugh.
be quiet.
all right.
Go ahead,
Can
Chris.
I
you
answer
go.
that? That's a real danger area in all criticism because, if you have this preconceived notion of what you're going to watch and it's not that, then you're really being unfair to the film you're watching. So I will admit that sometimes I fall into that, particularly with the movie Joel G, because I expected that to be much more like Macbeth. And I had a hard time accepting it as it was because the last two Shakespearean adaptations we saw managed to be modern and updated and still very true to it. So I will say I'm guilty of that, though I'm usually conscious enough that I try not to let my opinion of what I want the movie to be to get in the way.
All right, Chris, go ahead. You can.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say. Yeah, I got the shingles vaccine today. It's doing the numbers on me.
Oh, okay.
Oh God, you can't have enough vaccines.
But wait till you get shingle on your eye, John.
Is that what you got?
No, I got the shingles vaccine. Yes. Anyway,
In the
Better
eye.
than shingles,
Anyway.
yes.
the point is, no, I usually try to take a movie for what it's trying to be. Try to have an open mind when I go into it. So if it turns out to be something very different from what I expected, I'm open to that. I'm ready for that. But yeah, you can't, you go watch a movie that's, you go watch Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Fantastic.
You're not, it's a great, fun, over-the-top, stupid action film, but you're not going there to see some nuanced performance that talks about, the human spirit. You
need
want to see
Jeff
Van
Speakman
Damme
for
do
that.
scissor kicking and kick somebody in the head 8 times. You know,
That's a
And
good,
eat a lot of stuff
nice
at the
dive on
diner and
that
not
one.
pay for
I
it.
do like the fact that you put Dolph Lundgren first in that movie.
Oh, I
That
love
was
Dolph
generous,
Lundgren.
yeah.
I love Dolph Lundgren.
He
That
wore
is
the
great.
ears around his on a chain, right?
Yes,
He
yes.
wore- yeah, yeah.
Great film.
I'll say that I definitely have expectations when it's not critical. Like any movie I go to, I have expectations about what I want it to be. The fun part is when it flips that expectation around and it becomes something I didn't expect. Like The Lunchbox is one of those in particular that I just fell in love with that film. And just because the performances were so great and the story ended up being just beautiful. I was expecting some sappy, romantic Indian, everything is, but that thing was grounded and it changed, it flipped what I was expecting. But even American films I go in, I definitely have expectations of what I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
But
always
do you think
surprised.
this is a general question or specific to Indian film?
I thought it was more general, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
There he said critical, whoever she critical review. I assume maybe they're talking about us doing these, but
You know what really flipped my expectations was Doom 3. I thought it had cars that were going to turn into planes, but instead it had motorcycles that turned into boats.
big hit,
Yeah.
big hit. That film,
huge hit.
big
All
hit.
right, John, you want to answer? Did you already
Yeah,
answer?
I mean, I try to watch a movie on its own, but you can't not. Especially, I'll be specific to Indian films. When there are certain actors in these films, or certain performers, there is a certain expectation that if it's not met based on what I've watched in the past, it probably affects my view of the film a little bit. But you try to be as objective as possible because, like with these films, especially, you have you have no idea what's going to happen in these films. You think, you read the storyline and you're like, okay, that's pretty straightforward. Then you watch the film and it takes so many twists and turns and tonal shifts and they're trying to entertain for 3 hours. So it's really hard to do that in some of these films. But I think from the performers who are in them, that's probably where my expectation sometimes is when I look at a film. But I try to go into it with no expectation.
But I have trouble putting myself in that position of somebody who goes to these films, who doesn't go to a lot of films, and you're going to these films to be entertained, and you want all that tonal shifting, and you want the majesty of all the dancing. I can't put my head. I'm having a hard time putting my head in that.
That's not how we watch films.
No, of course not.
Right.
And and that's why I don't like to. This one in particular, or some of the other ones, I don't want to just be totally negative on it because I just didn't get it. But it's sometimes I got to be honest, and it's not my cup of tea.
You should always be honest, not sometimes.
No, I want to be.
You should be.
I think I'm pretty honest on this show.
Yeah.
I don't sugarcoat it, but yeah. Anyway, but I do that with American films too. I walk in all the time with expectations, and they get, I'm mostly disappointed lately. There hasn't been many good movies I walk out and go, wow, that was.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
amazing.
Star Wars, Marvel. Ugh.
Well, that's.
Ugh.
But there's a couple coming out now, the Scorsese film and Ferrari, Michael Mann's Ferrari, and then he's doing Heat 2. Oh, so
He's doing Heat 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just announced that. Yeah.
Yeah. Drew, what about you?
Well, I try to watch every movie for what it is. I want the same thing out of every movie, which is I want to sit down and watch a movie and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm rooting for movies. The best thing I've ever seen can be different. I would expect something different from Walking Tall versus Schindler's List, but they can both excel at what they're trying to do. I don't tend to respond to movies and say, I wish it was something different. I can have, and I'm happy to express that I think they could have done something that they did differently, or maybe I don't like that they killed a character or something like that. But I mean, the movie is what it is. It's making a movie is, and writing it and everything is all just making choices. And they've made choices in a certain way. And I mean, I can say I wish that Jaws was more about three friends going out on a boat trip. And when they killed Robert Shaw, I knew we weren't going to have, the fun part where they all drink about it later. But that's not that movie. The movie is what it is. So I think there's a big difference between saying I wish it was better, or I wish it did something that that it tried to do in a more effective way, than I wish it was a different movie. Like I just watched the movie. It's a good Halloween movie. It's called Underwater. It's a Kristen Scott underwater horror movie. it's not good. It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
And part of why it's entertaining is because right out of the gate, it moves. And part of why it moves is because I think they shot another 40 minutes with actual character stuff and they just cut that all out and put out the movie. And so I wouldn't be against seeing a version of the movie that had made those choices. But, you know, it's about running from monsters under the ocean, and it's really effective and it's really well done. I don't think that's the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I like that also, as we've watched these movies, I start to get expectations about what a Rajamouli movie is going to be like, which is different than another director. The same way Zone of Interest by Martin Glazer is coming out. And that's the guy that did Sexy Beast, and he did Under the Skin and Birth. So I know what that movie is probably going to feel like. So I want to see it. But I don't think it's fair to watch a movie and say, I wish it was something else.
Well, that's we're talking about another American film, the Alien sequels that Ridley Scott did. A lot of people went in with expectations about what that was going to be. And a lot of people were very disappointed about what he did or didn't do in the sequels. And I walked away going, that's fine. I thought the movies were great. I loved what he did because I just bought into it. But definitely you walk in with expectations of what you wanted based on all the hype and everything else that goes along in these films. So,
Yeah, good film.
Which one?
I wanted it to be a good film.
I know. I see that,
and it was not.
Well, you say that. I enjoyed both of them. So that's.
Did you enjoy them more than Aliens?
No, of course not. I mean, I'm not saying that, but again, I take it as a separate thing.
You enjoyed them for what it was.
Yep, I really did. So, okay, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Was that the only question? That was the only question we got?
Yeah, I only did one because
I only did one. Did you get more than that, or was that?
Yeah, I got a few more. Yeah.
Okay, so we can stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah. So what I'll do is, Ralph, I will print them up. Yeah, and I will bring them with me.
Mail them to him.
So I will take one more thing off your plate because you only had a week to review the question.
I read the question a bunch of times. I just didn't realize I had to do it live.
Well, why did you think I emailed it to you?
I thought just to
show you the question.
I don't know. All right, we're good. All right, so next week we're doing Piku.
Yeah. Piku. And that should get people to subscribe, hit the notification button, smash a like button, and please, if you think people would like this, please share with anyone you think might like this. Right.
And
thanks for the questions, by the way.
Send good vibes to Sean's doctor next week. Okay?
Sean's throat. We got to get him back singing on YouTube.
I hope he's not a gangster pretending to be a doctor.
Well,
in order to
like
please
I said,
his parents.
Watch your kidneys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'll
watch your kidneys.
So
watch Taboo walk in. Taboo will walk in.
Can you imagine? I got this guy. So, all right, guys, have a good week. Hey, tell Debbie we said hello, please.
Yeah,
please.
Tell Auntie we said hello. Tell Auntie. Everyone misses her.
Yes,
I encourage Auntie to join us next week, and if that means leaving you alone for a couple of hours, then so be it.
Yeah. Ooh. Or from your bedside. Ooh. Just saying. We could.
You don't want to give Sean that opportunity.
I'll send a media kit over there to the bed to the hospital.
Another media kit. We got a lot of media kits out there, huh?
We do.
I've never seen one of these media kits.
All right, so I'll see the four of you next week. Sean, good luck.
Good luck, Sean.
Yeah, Sean. Prayers. We're there. Okay.
Good vibes your way, brother.
All right, guys. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye-bye.